Hello everyone. Today I've got a project that's hopefully going to use every capability of the xTool. I'm going to use it to clean, weld, and hopefully cut through this 10mm thick plate of steel. Let's get started. This is an old Wilton bench vise I've had sitting around my shop forever. So when my wife told me she needed a twisting fixture for her anvil, I thought this would be the perfect thing for it. And it'd be a good demonstration of what the xTool MetalFab can do. The general idea is you have a simple vise like this mounted to the top of your anvil. You heat up your workpiece, place it in the jaws, clamp it, and you can use that to form twists and bends and things like that. On the top of anvils, they have something that's called a hardy hole, which is basically just a square hole that is used to place in accessories for twisting, bending, cutting, things like that. So I need to make some sort of adapter to get this vise into the hardy hole. I took some measurements for the bottom of the vise and created a little template out of cardboard. So I cut this on my CO2 laser, but this will correspond to the hole locations, and the square in the middle is for this peg that will sit in the hardy hole. So it's basically going to get welded together like that. That'll sit down into the top of the anvil, and then of course the vise will attach like that. So we need to cut this piece out of this piece of steel. This is 10mm thick A36. So we need to bring this over to the MetalFab and clean it up and cut it. Of course, I don't have to use the laser to clean this. I could just use a flap disc, but it is pretty nasty and rusty in a lot of places, so I figured why not try it with the laser. The process is pretty straightforward. You just load it in like any piece of metal, and then you switch the nozzle over to this cleaning flared nozzle thing. From there in the software, you just select rust cleaning instead of cutting or whatever else, and then just draw a rectangle over what you want to clean, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's see how it goes. Normally, you'd probably just use a flap disc and an angle grinder, maybe even a sander, but I wanted to try out the CNC cleaning function since, it's part of one of the things that the machine does. And I think I just have the settings wrong. It took about 5 minutes to do this relatively small piece, and it was absolutely etching into the surface of the metal, not just simply removing the rust and the scale on top. So even though my power was relatively low, it still really did a number on this top surface. It is smooth, but I think I can do a lot better with this. So I'm gonna play with this a little bit more. I'm not 100% sold on it right now. So now that that's all clean and smooth, it's time to cut this out. This is my first time cutting anything this thick. I've only done like 2 or 3 millimeters, and I usually use the standard nozzle. This is good for just fine detail and really thin stuff. If you're doing slightly thicker, you go with the save gas nozzle, which has that little ceramic insert in it. But for something like this, the software told me to use the double layer nozzle with the extension tube. So this is the one that we're going to use for the 10mm steel plate. And I also need to use oxygen. For all my cutting up until now, I've been using the xTool air compressor, and that's worked pretty good for the 2 or 3 millimeters. But when we go thicker, we're going to need to have oxygen or nitrogen. I chose oxygen because it's going to get through this thicker stuff a lot better, or at least that's what I think. The thing to note about oxygen is it doesn't have the same connector or fitting that the argon tank has. This is a CGA 540, whereas the argon tank is a 580, so you can't use the same regulator. You need a regulator that is specifically for an oxygen tank. This is something that I just learned. Maybe a lot of other people already know this. So I'm going to get this connected into the machine, and we're going to try a 10mm cut. This was actually really fun to watch, and I don't think laser cutting is ever really going to get old for me. I used all the default settings in the xTool software, and I'm going to make a couple tweaks for the next time that I cut something like this. As you can see, it starts out with the laser much higher, and it does a pierce just to kind of get through the material, then it goes lower and performs the actual cut. However, on that pierce, it leaves a lot of melted metal on top of the workpiece, and then when it does the cut, it cuts it out. You can actually select a lead-in so it does that pierce off of the actual cut, then cuts it out so you don't get that mess on top of what you're actually cutting. So I'm going to change the lead in and lead out, and there's a couple other little parameters I want to play around with, but other than that, for the first time I've ever cut anything thicker than 3 millimeters, it worked great. It cut the thing out. So here it is. It did cut, but it's not the prettiest thing ever. I'm gonna need to mess with the settings a little bit. It kind of looks worse than it is. I spent just like 10 seconds on the grinder and it is actually a lot better. There is a pretty good amount of dross on the bottom, but this does chip off pretty easily with just a chisel. So I'm gonna grind this off and just kind of see how that works. But dimensionally, this thing is perfectly fine. It's exactly what it should be. It's just kind of ugly. I'm gonna mess with the settings and see if I can figure out a better way to cut 10 millimeter, but it absolutely did cut. So let me get this on the belt sander and clean this up. This cleaned up a lot quicker than I thought it would. The dross came right off. I am using a pretty coarse grit, but I only spent about 5 minutes cleaning this up in total, which isn't too bad. If you're going to be painting or powder coating it, you probably spend more time and go with a finer grit as well. I'm going to email xTool and see if they have any suggestions. I think I was using too much oxygen, which acts as an accelerant, which makes it too hot, and maybe that's what was happening. I'm not sure. I'm still very much new to this, but I'll play around with the settings and I'll let you know if I find something better. For the mounting posts, I'm using some old bolts that I had. They kind of had some messed up threads, but it really won't matter for this application. I'm just kind of measuring how long they're going to need to be, and then I'll bring them over to the Mini Monster and cut them down. If you haven't seen my Mini Monster video, check the link down below. I have a whole video on that. But it's basically just a really souped up Harbor Freight little mini chop-off saw, and it is perfect for this application. These are about 9.5 millimeters thick, and I can just chop right through them, and now they're the right size. If it's not obvious from any of this footage, I've never really welded before. This is the first time I've actually done a project. I've obviously tested out the xTool. I had the X Laser Lab a couple weeks ago, but that was all just kind of testing. This was the first time I've actually made something, an intentional project with welding. And this went okay. The studs were a little bit difficult. I really didn't know how to approach this. I tried welding it from the top side and that really didn't work all that well, so I just tried it from the back and that ended up working okay. What I'm finding with the laser welder is it's not really great at filling in gaps, and there was a fairly decent gap between the stud and the base material, so I just kind of had to go over it many times to fill that in, and it did eventually work. But in my mind, from watching this stuff on YouTube, is I kind of just thought like, oh, I can just kind of tack it in place. But with the laser welder, it doesn't really fill in that much material, so there's really nothing to tack. Whenever I've used this previously for like a butt weld or something like that, the two pieces of metal are basically touching, and that's really easy to get a nice weld. But when there's these gaps, it's definitely a lot trickier. It ended up working out just fine, but it was really ugly there for a bit. I started to get the hang of it a little bit once I realized I couldn't just simply weld inside that gap, but I would start on the outside and then just kind of do a nice consistent bead over top of both materials, and that actually worked out okay. I needed a lot more practice with this. By the very last one, I was actually getting pretty good, but I just kind of do these beads over and over side by side and just kind of build up the weld, and that ended up working out pretty good. And once it was ground off, it actually looked decent as well, but it took a little bit of practice to kind of get the hang of this. Welding the Hardy hole peg was significantly easier. I just used some of the welding magnets to kind of line everything up, flipped it upside down, ran a bead right along the side, and it went just so much better. I think part of the reason here is it's a straight line versus a circle, and also there was less of a gap between those. I still need to use a few beads to fill it in, but it was much, much better than the studs. I did a quick cleanup with an angle grinder and a flap disc just to see if the welds looked good and make sure I didn't have any large pits or voids or anything like that. I only spent maybe 1 or 2 minutes total doing this. So there it is, my first ever welding project, and it's pretty hideous. It does work, however, and dimensionally it's fine. It's just a little bit rough. You can see kind of the welds that I was filling in. I could probably do a little bit better job in filling those in a little bit more, but they will hold. I mean, they are on there. They're not going to go anywhere. So everything is structurally fine. And in terms of dimensions, yeah, this thing fits perfectly. So functionally, it is going to work just fine. It's just kind of ugly. And I also managed somehow to get all of these posts nice and square, and the Hardy post at the bottom is also pretty square too. So yeah, I'm happy with the overall functional outcome. It is just quite ugly. I'm gonna do a little bit more cleaning up on this just so it isn't so ugly. I was going to paint this, but my wife told me with blacksmithing, since you're dealing with such high heat, painting will just usually burn right off, so it's best to keep things bare. But I'm just going to clean it up so it doesn't look so bad, and then we can use it. I cleaned this up a little bit more with the flap disc and belt sander, but at some point I just have to call it a day and move on. It's going to work functionally. Everything lined up, everything was square, so I'm pretty happy about that. If you've ever seen blacksmithing tools, they're generally pretty rough and unfinished, so I think this will fit right in. We've got some really thin square stock in the jaws, and we're using some butane to heat it up. The butane's not going to get it hot enough to actually twist it, but we have a bunch of butane on hand and we don't have a lot of MAP gas on hand. So we're just using the butane to kind of get it mostly up to temperature, and then we're going to switch over to the MAP gas to actually get it hot enough to where we can actually twist it. Then it's just a matter of grabbing with some pliers and doing some nice precise twists. She's kind of doing like one in one direction and then alternating in the other direction. It creates a really cool pattern in the end. And this was just one of those really great projects where I'm learning how to weld, she's still learning blacksmithing techniques, so we kind of both got to benefit a little bit from this. It was a really simple project, but it was kind of fun to make something that she can get some use out of, and it gives me a little bit of practice. And overall, yeah, it works well. It is a vise mounted to an anvil, and we were both kind of surprised at how clean these bends were after cleaned up a little bit. They're really smooth, really pretty, so yeah, I think A+. Everything worked out the way that we wanted, and I'm going to have to just get a little bit better at welding, but it's nice to have your first welding project be something like this that, you know, can be a little bit ugly. You never want your first project to be something that needs to look perfect. So, as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.